The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everyone, this is Paul Joseph from the 100 Watt Vipers, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Paul Joseph of 100 Watt Vipers. They have a new album called Holy Water that's out now. 100 Watt Vipers has released their official music video for The Bell Tolls Heavy, filmed and directed by Connie Crowder. And I want to give a big shout out to DJ Riddick, who's with Paul. He's not on the interview with us, but he's the main guy who helps Paul out on this and everything. So my favorite song by you guys is Dirt Road Blues, Paul. So how's it going?
Interesting. Good. It's good to be talking to you, John. Yeah, Dirt Road Blues, that's actually off of Cold Sunday Blues, maybe?
Is that the
I don't know. That's kind of, we kind of consider a couple of Vipers tunes like our classic tunes, you know, that we always have to play live. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because we just played a show week before Christmas, and it was the first time we ever opened up with Dirt Road Blues. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's kind of a standard. A lot of people really like that track.
I do like that track, man. I like how it flows. I like the story. And I'm not saying it's just because you're on here, but I like to give a lot of people props when they're on here, because, you know, when you're a DIY band, that takes a lot of effort when you don't have people behind you. It's rough.
The thing that we get is basically, I think we've developed the audience that we've developed because we're just like two guys hanging out at the bar, getting up and playing some blues. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're not trying to do real, you know, overproduced albums or super produced singles or anything. We have this really big love for like real Delta blues, just real organic, just the real honest stuff. Like I always tell people, like very early AC/DC, we love anything blues. You know, Albert Collins, Albert King, Buddy Guy, any of the real, you know, down home blues stuff. And where I guess we're kind of a rock band, but there's such a heavy blues thing going on with us that it's I don't know. It just we just ended up this little two-piece, you know, loud-ass kind of blues rock band, I guess, you know.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I like what you guys do. It's cool that you guys are just a two-piece band, and you put out this awesome shit. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
How's it been for you guys working with Tag Publicity so far?
Oh, those guys are great. I got to tell you, Tom George and Tracy, we haven't really met the whole team yet, but those guys are they got a lot of soul, a lot of passion. They're straight up people, you know. And Tom, just, I mean, every morning I get up, I've got, you know, one to a couple of emails every night. You know, he's in touch, and really definitely a legit company. Those guys work real hard. You know, they've gotten a bunch. You know, we're, as you said, very DIY. I mean, you know, we've got definitely some friends in the industry, and that's why we've recorded in Nashville and, you know, Muscle Shoals, and have been able to do some cool stuff. But you know, when Tom originally reached out to us and said, you guys need a publicity firm, you know, and it was kind of like, okay, you know, but man, those guys are hard-working people, you know, really good people, real honest, and I would highly recommend any bands that got to that level and need some assistance in that department. Definitely, they should look at Tag. Very good company.
You guys have released the official music video for The Bell Tolls Heavy. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this album, which one would be the first single and video? Also, what did you want that first song to say about 100 Watt Vipers when people heard it?
Well, yeah, it was hard because, honestly, John, you do an album and, real fresh, and you just literally, kind of walked out of the studio with the mixes and it's done. It's kind of hard to really sort of hear it, you know what I mean? So you don't, kind of what I do a lot is my girlfriend has good ears, and she'll be like, well, that's a great track, or, that's definitely a video track, because Connie actually shoots all the videos for the band. She's kind of got her own little fan base going on. It's kind of cool. I think we're going to print up some, Connie T-shirts, We ended up with the Bell Tolls Heavy just because DJ and I both really like the kind of darkness of it. It's like we did two versions of that song and another one as well, After the Storm Comes the Peace, which is just a song about, I lost my dad about 10 years ago, and it's about the wisdom he taught me as a young kid, and then as you get older in life, you're trying to, you realize how smart your parents really were, So we did an acoustic and electric version of both of those songs, and it was just something about, just something about the Bell Tolls Heavy. Connie liked it. DJ thought it was cool. I was kind of burned out because I do all the engineering and producing, so I was like, man, I don't care. We'll go with whatever. And then we just went and we shot the video for it, and it's just been doing really well. So, and as far as what we wanted it to say, I'm not sure we really wanted it to say anything. It's a very good representation of, we're a very kind of working class DIY band, and I think a lot of people relate to us because they're working class people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the Bell Tolls Heavy is just about you're going through life, and it's never going to be easy, and you just got to, take the hits, and so as long as you just keep getting up and trying to do the right thing and have your faith and take care of your family, and, that it doesn't matter sort of how hard you get hit or how many times you fall, just as long as you get back up, you're doing the right thing,
Yes, sir, my friend, and it can
if that makes any sense.
It does make very, very good sense, because you can, oh man, life can really kick you down really, really hard and really fast within a blur of a second.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that feeling all too well. And I lost my dad, gosh, I want to say 18, 19 years ago. And it sucks, but I tell anybody who's lost a parent, you don't know what you go through until that time. Especially for somebody that's lost a parent, it's really hard at a young age. Very, very hard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any songs off the album standing out more to you than any on as of right now, if possible? I mean, I know these must change every time you listen to it, but are there any that stand out for you personally?
For me personally, I do now that I've had a little distance from it, because I think we released the album 2 months ago or whatever. So I've been able to kind of, now I can actually hear it, because when I originally kind of come out of the studio, after we've got it done, I don't want to hear it or anything, just because you know what I mean? I've been listening to it for as long as, we were doing the album. But now that I've had some time to get away from it, I love the Bell Tolls Heavy. There's a song, Ace is High. It's kind of very early AC/DC-ish, I guess. I love that track. After the Storm Comes the Peace. I like that. There's, I know I think it's the second track on the record, You Ain't Gonna Take Me Down. I think we did a video for that. I know DJ really likes that. I definitely like I Am the Traveler. That's a cool song. Normally I like a lot of the slide stuff that's more towards, I guess, the end of the album. But I know I Am the Traveler. I kind of dig that song, definitely. I like the kind of the story, and there's another track. It's one of the songs towards the end of the record as well that kind of was like a sleeper one. I think when we were recording it, I was kind of like, and then after we got it done and I was able to listen to everything, I was like, wow, that's a really good track.
After getting away from these songs for a while and getting back to them, did that put the excitement and juices back into this album for you guys?
Yeah, because it's, by the way, that song I was just trying to come up with was No Salvation in These Fields. I like that track a lot. And Hard Summer Coming Down is good too. Yeah, you know, when you do an album, usually you're kind of so burned out at the end. It's kind of like you don't know if people are going to, like I always go through this thing where I'm like, I don't know if we just made the best Vipers record or the worst one, or, you know, because we've kind of built this, I don't know, on Facebook. We have like almost 30,000 people on Facebook, and we get played a lot, like in Europe and stuff. And so there's an impact when we put something out. I mean, we're not, you know, putting out platinum albums or anything, but when we put something out, it actually gets out there. And so I always think about that before I'm like, okay, this is it, you know, we're going to release it. And for me anyways, when you finish the album, it's really hard to hear it. And then when you come back to it, you know, a month later or whatever, and usually there's already feedback at that point, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're, you know, people are digging it. But it just comes down to it's just a good feeling when you get a new album out and, you know, you put everything you had into it. We get a lot of people that contact us and tell us, man, and I really don't get that, because I think the Vipers music is like, I mean, it's very working class, heavy blues, but it's kind of depressing, you know. And a lot of people will like email us and say, man, I couldn't have got through the last 3 months without, you know, this album or that song. Or we've even had people say that they, you know, lost a parent or something, and they never could have got through it without one of the Vipers tracks or something. And that's just so, you know, when somebody emails you something like that, that's just so powerful. You don't even feel worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I even tell my mom, I'm like, I don't know what it is about the Vipers. It's the most depressing band out there, but you know, I don't know. It's the heavy blues. I don't know what it is, but anyways.
Some people, they gravitate toward that. And, you know, it's like I've always said, and people are probably tired when I say this, but music is a voice for everybody. We adapt to different things, and music is a voice. I mean, that's all there is to it. And it lets us get away for a little bit and just escape of the everyday bullshit that we go through. You know?
That's very true, John. I think that's what it is. A lot of people, it's escapism. You know, a lot of people, you know, man, their whole thing is they go do their, you know, 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift, or whatever. They get a 6-pack, they put on the headphones, and they just sit there and listen to their favorite records, or, you know, whether it's us or you know, blues, or, you know, latest greatest band of the week is, you know. But I think a lot of people do that. It's like escapism, and it allows them to almost find peace. You know what I mean? Find a little break from on the side of the road from this thing called life. You know, which can be very brutal, by the way.
Yes.
You know.
You guys have produced your previous albums, Something Wicked Comes This Way, Cold Sunday Blues, and 2016's Hellbound Train Rollin'. Do you guys like producing the albums yourself and having that control over it and that freedom to do when you want to?
I pretty much produce the Viper stuff, and DJ and I both agree that, you know, we've been able to record in some very... I think the first album, Something Wicked, we did mostly in Nashville. And then the second album, we were recording some of it in Georgia, and that's when I put my own studio together. And the reason we did it that way is because I just wasn't hearing the Vipers the way I was hearing it. You know what I mean? And even DJ felt that way. It was like, and that was not to diss any of the studios. We've worked in some really great studios, and but we'd walk out, and it just wasn't what we were hearing, you know. And so I put my studio together, got all the analog gear I could get my hands on and possibly afford. And my girlfriend helped me put the studio together. And it was like, okay, this is what we're supposed to sound like. This is how I think this should sound. So we definitely, I don't think we could do it any other way. I mean, I don't think with this band, you know, we could turn that production over to a company or a label or something, because I don't think it would be the Vipers, you know.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and yourself go through up to the release of this album, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you involved in this?
That's got to be one of the best questions anybody's ever asked me.
Oh wow!
Kudos to you on that, man. Growth, it's kind of like it's that, but it's like it's a journey. You know what I mean? It's like I can remember, man, the first couple of weeks we were together. You know, when the Vipers actually became the Vipers, and we were working on riffs and you have to find the sound. You know, it was like this big dirt pile, and we had to kind of like dig out what the Vipers were. You know, but then once we found it, it kind of had a life of its own. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's been growth for us. It's just we've kind of been hanging on to the rope and just getting dragged along with the going on its own. But it's been fun. We've made so many great friends, and we have people contact us from all over the world, and we're constantly getting asked to go play bike fests in Russia and Germany and England, and of course, being DIY, that's kind of tough, but
yeah, for sure.
It's just been very cool. And like our videos, our DIY videos. I mean, we get people, contacting us from just all over the place, and it's just cool. It's been a very, very cool thing, definitely.
When you guys come into the recording studio, do you do anything differently during that writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open and not let the music get stale or not get bored with it? Do you guys do anything differently, possibly, if anything?
We just don't rush it. What we do, like I said, I have my own studio in my house, and I've got like 3 acres kind of out in the country in Jacksonville. And so what we do is we just don't rush it. We work on a riff, or if I have a new song or whatever, and then if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're very sort of aware of what works and what doesn't. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but we're like very aware of, okay, that's legit Vipers, and that is not legit Vipers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we mix it up. We take a couple of days off, and we'll go out and see some bands, or go out and get some wings and have some beers or whatever, and but we're also able to, like, I could do remixes all day long to try to, when we finish a track, I try to really dive into it from a mixing perspective, an engineering perspective, producer perspective, and it's like, there's a track, it has to come out correctly from a production point of view,
Mm-hmm.
And there's like I think a kind of a specific sound that people kind of expect from us, which is a very sort of raw, very organic, very honest type production, and we just know if it's good or if it isn't good.
Right.
And if it isn't good, we just like to see throw it out and work on another track.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. You guys have done this so much that you know exactly what you want from an album and what needs to go on the album and what needs to be going to trash. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes if there's something I miss, Connie's right there to go, oh, I don't know about that. And it's actually my mom's got really good ears too. I'll play her a demo or something. She'll be like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like the Vipers to me. And I'm like, okay, Mom.
It's always good to have different points of view, and especially the people that's not listen to you guys a lot to take a listen to it and say, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool deal.
And also, I should mention this. I have a really, really good friend in Germany. His name's Ali. We've been friends for I don't even know how long at this point, and he is like a huge. Well, he's my friend, and I don't consider the Vipers have fans. I hate that word. I just say we have supporters and new friends. You know what I mean? That's kind of how we look at it. And Ali is he's very critical because he takes the Vipers so seriously. It's how I met him in the first place, actually. And a cool thing is I'll do a demo or something, and I'll shoot it to him. And I'll be like, hey, what do you think of this riff? Or this is what, and he'll get back and he'll be like, it's great, or he'll get back and say like, that's like horrible, and don't even, So I'm kind of lucky that way. I do have a couple extra set of ears around me that I'm usually bouncing things off of people, you know.
What can folks expect at a show from 100 Watt Vipers who have not got to see you guys live as yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you all?
Well, it's going to be loud as hell, and it's going to be hopefully a lot of fun, a lot of cool people, probably a bunch of bikers, and hopefully just some really good, stripped down, no bullshit, three-chord rock, you know, with a healthy dose of some very loud, heavy blues.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and plus we got social media now to reach out to more folks who have not got to hear you guys as of yet. Do you like this that we're in right now, or no?
I think there's pros and cons to everything. I think that the whole digital world definitely allows bands, artists, you know, pretty much anybody that wants to do anything to actually be able to kind of, you know, get it out there a little bit. But at the same time, you know, it's got to be good enough to be able to get a life of its own, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of bands, I don't know, the whole digital thing has made it possible for a lot of people to, at least initially, you know, get exposed to a lot of people. And that's definitely a good thing, but I think that can be abused as well, and people can make mistakes and do damage to their careers and stuff, you know?
I agree with you. I do think that the digital era is awesome for, like, garage bands who are first starting out and they want to do this and see if this is what they want to do. I think this helps them out tremendously.
Yes.
But, like you said, you could make that one track or one album or EP or whatever you want to do, and you want to put this in front of somebody that you hopefully will sign you or either give you backing. You screw up, man, that's pretty much, no, I'm not going to say that's pretty much it, but that's probably it with that signee or whoever you're going to get with, record company, whatever. That may be it.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's like it's something, you know, that has to be, you know, treated with respect, because you can, I mean, we've ended up with a pretty massive international audience, and that's all due to, you know, we put a couple of videos out in a first album, and I mean, we've got videos on our page that have 30,000 shares, you know, 500,000 views, and it's like, you know, you have to be cool with that kind of stuff, you know, you have to kind of manage it effectively. You know, I mean, we're a band, so we try to keep our, you know, business tight, but a lot of people can, I guess they can kind of lose control of it a little bit, if you know what I mean. Maybe put stuff out they shouldn't have put out, or, you know, maybe put out an album that they should have maybe held back and rethought it a little bit, or, you know what I mean? Because once you put it out there, it's out, you know?
What does 100 Watt Vipers bring to the table for music, Paul, that's not out there as of right now? I mean, I know no one's reinventing the wheel of this, but what do you guys bring to the table for music?
I'd like to think, I don't know what we bring, but I'd like to think some just real honesty and organic tones, and some real stripped down, honest production, and just songs that, like, I can't write about anything that I don't know about, you know what I mean? And the lyrics are always about just, you know, kind of my life, your life, my friends' lives, just real life stuff, you know what I mean? And, you know, there's a lot of spandex and makeup and, you know, a million types of acts out there, and we're just a very kind of underproduced, loud kind of blues, you know, heavy blues thing. And I would like to think that we bring an honesty in the songs and the approach and the production.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, this is what I want to do right here?
I guess when I was a kid, my sister had an old classical guitar in her room, and she would go out with her friends, and I don't know how old I was, 10 or something, and I would sneak in and grab this classical guitar that had like one string on it, I think, or two strings, you know, and I just sit down and play it. I was like, I don't know, I was kind of mesmerized by it, you know, and then from there, you know, upstate New York, I got in bands when I was like 14 or 15, and it was just like no turning back after that, you know.
Is there a country that stands out or even shocks you that 100 Watt Vipers get support from, or even your music gets played in that country?
Oh yeah, Russia, Romania,
Wow.
South America. We've got, if you Google, this is funny, man. Yeah, France, Germany, all over Europe, all over the UK. If you Google the 100 Watt Vipers, there's a song that we have, I think it's called Hammer Comes Down. And there's a band in, I don't know if they're in Russia or, well, I think it's a Dutch band, and they're playing, I think they're playing at the Hard Rock Cafe in Amsterdam, and they're covering us. They're covering our song When the Hammer Comes Down. The first time I saw that, DJ actually sent that to me. I could not believe it. I was like, I mean, yeah, and we're a two-piece, and they had like 5 people in the band,
wow.
Right? And then there's a Russian band. I actually found them on YouTube, and I kind of left a comment and said, hey, guys, great job. But there's another track that we have called Under a Witch's Moon, and they did a full-blown video. They put some thought into this video. I recorded the track and put it out, and it was like, I was just, how can you be anything but flattered,
For sure. Yeah, I would love to get BODS Mayhem Hour International.
Right on. And then there's a video of some kid, I don't know, he's like 10, and he's playing drums to one of our tracks, and several of the tracks. And he's a great drummer. He's like 10 years old, and he's playing along with the track. You see stuff like that, it's just like, wow, It's like, what made that person even care enough about this song or this band to do that? But and the other weird thing is that if you go to our YouTube page, we've got so many Russian comments. I think it's Russian or Bulgaria or Yugoslavia, whatever. And I can't read any of them, and I keep trying to leave comments like, hey guys, it's not that I don't want to reply, I just can't understand, and some of them kind of write back and try to do a little bit in English, and yeah, it's kind of cool, man.
Has there been a show or a moment that stands out to you that made you think, man, this is really worth everything that we have put into this so far? Have you had that experience yet?
A lot of times it shows. Sometimes I'll just catch the expression on somebody's face when we're playing, or see somebody in the back that's, I don't know, it's still pretty, it's still a really good time, man. But there's been times in the studio, I would say, when, a chorus gets completed or the final part, and we're mixing it, and it's like, wow, that's how that was supposed to sound, or wow, that came out so much better or something. But I would say live, it's just seeing some of the expressions of people, it's hard to explain. It's like a real good, feel-good kind of thing,
Folks, you want to get out and pick up the new album from 100 Watt Vipers, Holy Water. Get out and pick that up. Also, pick up their old stuff, Something Wicked Comes This Way, Cold Sunday Blues, and Hellbound Train Rollin'. Get out and pick up their albums. Paul, man, great stuff from you guys. Like I said, I like this bluesy style of music that you guys are bringing to the table. How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, tickets, all that good stuff? How can they do that?
Most of that stuff is, either through Facebook, Bandcamp, YouTube, iTunes. That's about it. The Bandcamp and the Facebook page is probably where people can, basically kind of find us on a daily basis and kind of find out what's going on, or shows, everything that's always posted on Facebook. And then anybody that wants to, get a download or CDs or whatever, it's all through Bandcamp right now.
And before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. Hey, everyone, this is Paul Joseph from the 100 Watt Vipers, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check us out on our Facebook page. We have our YouTube link and plus our podcast link listed there for all of our interviews. And plus, get out and check out 100 Watt Vipers. I'm pretty sure you're going to dig their music. Paul, thank you guys so much, and have a best 2019, man.
Cool. Thank you very much, John. Had a blast.